What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. So the Biden admin does it again. They're using taxpayer dollars to weaponize government agencies against American people. Let's first start off with this topic tonight. We've got some big stories, some things you probably hadn't heard before. So I'd encourage you to watch the whole program tonight. But let's start off with this first. So university program linking Christians, Republicans to Nazis granted Department of Homeland Security funds under anti-terror narrative. So the Biden admin is using taxpayer money through an anti-terrorism grant initiative by a university program that has explicitly lumped the Republican Party as well as Christian and conservative groups into the same category as Nazis. Department of Homeland Security program meant to fight terrorism is funding a group whose work has targeted the American political right. So the Terrorism Task Force is engaged in active effort to demonize and eliminate Christian, conservative, and Republican organizations using federal taxpayer dollars. What we have here is basically trying to politically, persecute these organizations based on your religion, your political stance. And if you look here at this diagram, you can see they have different tiers here, right? So you have the 4, which is the most extreme, 3, 2, and 1. You got, Fox News is 1, CBN, the Republican Party as a whole, as well as a ton of others there. We have the 3 percenters, MAGA, Breitbart, things like that. I guess the only thing that I'm really disappointed in is we didn't make the list, to be honest with you. But let's kind of just get this straight for us. And let's just kind of put this into perspective. Okay. So lifting weights, raising a family, going to church, eating meat, and loving your country is extremism. But cutting off your Johnson, eating bugs, worshiping Satan isn't. All right. So yeah, pretty gnarly. Anyhow, Target, the war's been going on with Target, just like Bud Light. And so they've had a $9 billion loss in market cap in just a week after the backlash with the Pride gear, which included tuck-friendly swimsuits and other products, a lot of them marketed towards children, whole children's section on this. So anyway, let's get to the heavy news. Okay, this is going to be pretty multi-dimensional, so stick with me. But we just talked about some disturbing things a few days ago with the EMP possibility, but maybe it's more than that. So let's talk about these tanks first, right? World War III fears as Russia claims U.S. weapons were used in shock attack on their soil. So this isn't a joke. This is serious. So the White House says they're investigating reports of U.S. weapons using Belgorod attack. So these were American-made military equipment that was, quote unquote, apparently, so they say, used by a pro-Ukraine Russian militia during an attack along the Russian border. Earlier this week, head of the Russian Volunteer Corps, or we'll call it RDK from now on, just so you know, and that's in Russian. So, but it means Russian Volunteer Corps, that his militias and MRAPs, if you're mine-resistant ambush protected vehicles, if you're not familiar with those, but American military, several Humvees and their raid on Belgorod a Russian region about 25 miles north of the Ukraine border. And so they examined footage that actually showed at least three MRAPs being used in the raid. Okay. So the US, if you didn't know, sent over 500 MRAPs. Okay. So just to let you know, the MRAP costs anywhere in the bottom price is a $500,000 going up to $1 million. And we sent 500 of those. So you can do the math. A ton of your taxpayer dollars has went there, right? And these things crossed over into Russian territory. So General Milley and all of the Russian generals said that they didn't approve any third-party use. So if this was truly a pro-Ukrainian Russian militant group, that there was no approval, right, for any kind of paramilitary organizations to use this equipment. With that, also, Kiev says that they did not give any of the American equipment to any paramilitary. So the big question is, how did it wind up there and being used in this attack, right? So both the RDK and the Freedom of Russia Legion, which are both made up of volunteer Russian fighters who align with Ukraine, they say they claim responsibility for the attack, which actually also included an overnight drone attack on key infrastructures in the region. Okay, so not only these MRAPs and Humvees and things, we also had a drone attack into Russian territory. So the drone strikes caught 2 houses on fire. There has also been civilian casualties as well, and civilian injuries. So you see that there, that they're reporting possible World War III, because what this is making it look like is a direct American conflict with Russia. Okay. So now we have, obviously the US is trying to distance itself from this incursion into Russia. Incursion, they call it. Like that. That makes it a little lighthearted. We had civilians get killed there, right? But there's Russia has released photos of this discarded military equipment. So not only did your taxpayer dollars send equipment over there, it also got discarded over there in Russia as well. So, Humvees, MRAPs and stuff got just dropped over there. Millions of dollars worth of equipment just got dumped in Russia, and they fled off on foot. But again, Zelensky says he knows nothing about it. But if you didn't know, the United States has a major history, vast history in supplying guerrilla units, militants all around the globe to overthrow governments. This would not be the first time. Check out this article from 1988. You see that in the top, arming Afghan guerrillas, a huge effort led by the U.S. That's from 1988, New York Times, right? So we have been doing this. We're famous. We're notorious for arming militant groups, guerrilla warfare, to overthrow governments. If you guys are old enough, like me, like the Nicaraguan Contras, to overthrow the Soviet-supported government there. Nicaraguan. Sorry, I can't talk tonight, man. So was it a false flag? Was it funded guerrillas? Either way, America's pushing the line here, to direct combat with Russia. We've had Putin continuously tossing around the potential of nuclear war, but we keep pushing the line. And now Biden, who is and the Biden admin as a whole, the U.S. as a whole, has been against sending F-16s to Ukraine, but now Biden is sending F-16s to Ukraine. Now this is something that is pretty big, because they're going to train Ukrainian fighters to fly the F-16s, right? So what does that mean? It's not like driving a car. It's going to take at least 18 to 24 months to train pilots to use these F-16s. That costs a astronomical amount of money to fly them. So we're looking at 18 to 24 months at the very minimum that there's expectation, but it could go on for years or go on until we have direct conflict, which I think will happen. But the other big twist is that, yeah, let me toss up this real quick though. U.S. intelligence indicates that it was Ukrainians that did launch that attack, that drone attack on the Kremlin. So Ukraine did, right? Where they're trying to say it was a militant group, right? But another big twist is that Vladimir Putin has signed a deal with Belarus to store tactical nuclear weapons there. And, you know, they were having a little speech there about talking about one or two, and he looked at the camera and smiled, right? So he, you know, this isn't something new that countries, countries do this type of thing. We have nuclear weapons planted all around the globe, but this will be the first time that Russia has moved nuclear warheads and stationed them outside of Russia's border since, I guess, the fall of the Soviet Union, you could say. So that is pretty telling as well, right? That means they have some type of expectation. The only reason why you would do that, you would store them outside, one, for obviously ease of getting to your target, but also in case you had direct hits on your nuclear targets within your country, because obviously all sides know where all of them are, right? But with that, we have the ICC, which has, put out a warrant for Putin's arrest, and now they're asking for the U.S. to help with that arrest. So that's yeah, they're trying to get us involved. Everyone's trying to get us involved. Zelensky's trying to get us involved. So things are inching towards the line of that. And this is just what we know, guys. This is just what we know. The scary thing is what we don't know. Okay. So something else that's been reported by some websites, and this is where it gets big. High-level U.S. politicians will be vacationing Memorial Day weekend with their families at various undisclosed continuity of government locations. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically a coordinated effort for the executive, the legislative, and judicial branches of the federal government to ensure that they're essentially that the America can continue in the event of a catastrophic emergency. Okay, so we have politicians Memorial Day weekend going to go be at these continuity of government locations, bunkers, right? And I'll show you here, where are these nuclear bunkers? Okay. This article by Newsweek from 2022, and it talks about since Russia invasion with Ukraine, blah, 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 blah. It talks about some of the locations. So we have these bunkers built all across the U.S. So the idea is, I guess, that these politicians this weekend will be in a relative close area to the bunker. So they won't be, I guess, living or staying in the bunker, but they'll be in a relative location because these things are planted all across the U.S. Now, this is other things, that these facilities are some that are known, but many that are not known. So you don't know the locations, right? So we have Raven Rock Mountain Complex near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania, Peters Mountain in Virginia Appalachians, the Mountain Weather Bunker in Bluemont, Virginia, and the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in El Paso County, Colorado. So this program that they initiated back after 9/11, they started putting tons of money in building these bunkers all across the U.S., right? Some of them are in places like parking garages, as well as basements of public buildings. So all across the country, there's these fallout shelters for politicians that stock with food and supplies. Okay. New York City alone, and this was in this Newsweek article, has 18,000 of them themselves. So New York has 18,000 of these bunkers stocked with supplies for politicians. This isn't for American people, not for American people. This is solely for politicians. The other thing is we have 30 tons of explosives that are still missing, right? $290 million worth of anti-radiation meds that were purchased. We did a whole video on that. $290 million worth of anti-radiation pills that were purchased. And senators being supplied with satellite phones, 50 of them, who turns out probably to be a Democrat. I mean, what better plan than to have some kind of catastrophic event where basically you can do a restart, a reset in the way that you want it, right? Microsoft has claimed that Chinese hackers have attacked critical U.S. software infrastructure just a few days ago. So we have all these things working, and I always say where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. There's too many things at play here, and we continuously inch closer to getting kinetic with Russia, and Putin's constantly threatening, and now he's moving nukes out of Russia, which is pretty telling that maybe he suspects something bigger is going to happen. So I've been saying this for a while now. Go get a freaking gas mask. Get a gas mask. And luckily, Parcel Safety actually has a Memorial Day buy one, get one sale this weekend, starting now, the 26th. So right now, the 26th through the 29th, all products included during the sales event, you can mix and match the products for equal price or item for free. And also discount codes will work, and we got a 25% off discount code. I'll put all those links below. So it's live right now. But I had these two here that I've shown before. One, this is the tactical version here. So it's all set. You can go right or left, depending on what kind of shooter you are. I got this large, nice field of view for shooting. And this is what I like about this. It has this very comfy netting on the back for your head. And then they have the survival mask, which is, you can still shoot with this one in the front, just kind of tilt your head a little bit. But this is a lower price option for you as well. But buy one, get one, stock up for your family and things like that, and 25% off with my discount code black_scout. So you not only get the buy one, get one, you get the code as well. So grab you up some masks, because obviously this is the thing. Not only is the politicians, I mean, this is pretty wild. Okay. Like I said, the things that we don't know. So you hear some things, multiple websites are talking about they're going to be around. Maybe this is something they do all the time. I don't know. I'm not a politician. Maybe some of them have to do it for the continuity of government. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the plan. But it's very strange that they're getting issued the satellite phones. All these sort of things happening. They're getting trained in this medical emergency training. They're being, having bunkers basically or fallout shelters. I think they're called fallout shelters for their homes, placed in their homes, right? With taxpayer dollars. I just showed that the night before last. And now they're staging some during the Memorial Day weekend. And like I said, maybe this is something they do. This is a protocol they do, because I know that they do whenever the Congress is together, they have the survivor off somewhere else, right? In case the designated survivor, in case something bad happens, where we have someone that can maintain a leadership position, unelected. But, we also have, obviously, just within our country, the massive rivalry with the Trump and attacks on DeSantis. And, I just want to kind of say this, and maybe I should do a whole dedicated video about this, but I do see a problem with this. I see this becoming very problematic, because what's going to happen, I believe, Trump has very loyal following. Okay. Very loyal following. And he and DeSantis will be very close. The thing is in a lot of states, a lot of places, Democrat, you can vote in the primary no matter if you're Republican or Democrat. You don't have to register. Like In my state, you don't have to register as a party, so I can go vote in the Democrat primary if I wanted to. So the amount of hatred for Trump, you may have Democrats go vote, knock Trump out. Okay. Trump, with his type of personality, he would not support DeSantis. So he would either A, drop out, not support DeSantis, and this will lead to DeSantis losing again, potentially against Biden. Or the other scenario is he runs independent, splits the vote, Biden. Or DeSantis gets it, and Trump still attacks, and then all the Trump loyals don't vote for DeSantis, and Biden is president again. Who knows? I don't know how it goes, but I know Hillary's talking about running again as well. Maybe it winds up being Hillary, you know. I don't know if he can change his vice. Maybe he changes his vice to Hillary. Maybe that's the whole outcome. I don't know. There's so many parts moving in this that I don't see a good future at all. I don't see it working out. You know, because I don't know that America can stand another 4 years of this. But it would more so give an opportunity, because the weakening of America, because that's what's happening. It would give our enemies a little bit more time to develop a plan to overtake us. Maybe that's economically, maybe direct combat. Who knows? But there's a lot of moving parts to this. But I would say, again, always be prepared. Get some gas masks. I'll put the links below and all this sort of things. I'd be curious to know your thoughts as well. And if you guys got any more intel on, or any more smoke of any of these odd sounding things that are happening. The reason why they're odd is because there's too many things that are happening that doesn't make sense. See, so I'm not going to talk about this now. I've mentioned this a couple times before. This is like a thing that you know, I'm gonna find the right time to talk about it in the right place. But there was an event that happened before that it was smoke. When I was in the military, it was smoke, and it became fire. Something very odd, multiple odd moving pieces. I'd done the same thing before. Then all of a sudden, odd moving pieces that should have been the exact same, and then fire happened. So I'm a big believer in where there's smoke, there's fire. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts, guys. I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Go grab yourself some gas masks, get your family gas masks, get some extra filters as well. And I'll put all that links below. But buy one, get one. You can't beat it. And you get to use my they gave us a very good code, guys. They gave the Black Scout group a very good code, 25% off. So, I mean, you're getting them for a great deal. I don't know that you get that deal anywhere else. But I do appreciate anyone who takes care of my followers like that. So anyhow, guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this. And as always, thanks for watching Black Scout Survival. Stay frosty, stay strapped, and stay dangerous. Take care.